It's so hot. My eyes are sweating. That's really hot too. Listen, work continues on the Grand National. Here it is. There's more work on it. It's an 84 Grand National by Buick. You guys have convinced me to wash it after 20 years. It's the first wash. We're gonna pressure wash this thing. We're gonna clear coat it. I got different wheels. We gotta fix, it's breaking up, the engine. We're gonna do all that, and we're doing, it's 106 degrees out. So let's do it today. That's fine. So as a lot of you fellers and fellettes know, this car has been off the road for many, many years. We finally just got it back on the road, but the exterior has been the same for over 2 decades. It sat in a shop for many, many years and got pushed outside. The owner of this car, I was told, I'm finding this out, bought a 3rd gen Camaro. And that had to go into the shop because it was newer or better. This sat outside. A lot of this white sulfur look you see right here was actually moss green at one point. I mean, this is the most legit neglected paint you can find on probably any Grand National, which is why I called it the Bland National. It's just, bleh, And then you guys wanted me to wash it, and I thought at first, well, I don't really want to do that because I just want to keep it kind of a time capsule. But then I realized even if we do wash it, the rust on the hood, the roof, the trunk, a couple other places, the bumper, that's all gonna stay. We can encapsulate that and just make this a very unique one-off car. Now, yes, someday, eventually, we might actually just go all the way. Chips in, every single one of them. Put them in. Felt like I was diving there. Michael Phillips? I don't know, skinny, tall guy. Anyway, he was a swimmer back in the day. What I'm saying is, we might eventually do something, but for now, let's do something, is what I'm saying. So, let's walk around this. I'm going to show you how bad this paint is. We're going to try to clean it up, scuff it up, and we're actually going to be clear coating this with an automotive professional grade clear coat, but we're going to do it in the absolute cheapest way possible to just leave it the way it is so we could drive the thing. Okay, plan. Still very hot out right now. Ouch, I keep forgetting. So there's really no saving this hood. It is very porous. I mean, that thing is shot. So the rust color is going to stay pretty much. We're going to have to really pay attention to the coarse contour of the finish there. But the sides should clean up. This stuff here is all basically mold or lichens, vegetations of some sort. And I think we can get it all kind of like that, although I am seeing clear coat peeling there, but again, we're going to be adding that, so I'm not too worried. I want to clean this up, but I don't want to go crazy. Like this rust, we're going to keep just for character. We're going to end up with some patina, is what I'm saying. But we might be able to clean some of this stuff up, get some more black color back into it. The trunk or deck lid here, I probably could get some of this off if we really, really scrubbed on it. But again, I don't know if I want to. We're just going to smooth it up. The smoother we get it, the better the clear is going to lay, right? So we're just going to go to town, wash this thing. The rust on top of the bumpers gives it great character. This is probably the worst painted Grand National in the country, and I'm proud of it. It's probably the cheapest too. That's why it's here at Vice Grip Garage. You know what I mean? Again, there you can see the base coat, clear coat. We're just going to have fun with it, scrub it up. I'll show you what I'm going to be using here. Trying to keep it simple and cheap here, fellers, right? So we got the old SOS. They're quad 0. 0, 0, 0, 0. Steel wool pads. They got soap already in them. You just lubricate them up and good to go. These are good for wheels, chrome, glass, things like that. They're also great at paint for scrubbing this stuff off without leaving deep scratches. Then we got the CLR. Calcium, I don't know what that is. I don't like limes in my cold snacks or anything like that. But look, this one here, rust remover. We need that, if you can't tell. So we're gonna, I don't know what to do with this yet. It zaps rust stains though. I might just dump it on and scrub it. I might put it in the pressure machine and spray it on, haven't decided. And then we've got some used maroon, very fine Scotch-Brite. Now normally I would recommend the gray, which is even very, very, very fine. It's like 800 grit sandpaper essentially, but we've got some stuff, ouch, that's hot, to work through. So we're gonna go with this flavor here, and then just a good old pressure washer, and just start heating this thing up. By the way, I'll give you a trick. Say you don't have one of them fancy hot water injection units. That's okay on a day like today. Run out about 300 foot of hose and just let her lay in the driveway, and you're gonna get 200-degree water for free for about 10 minutes, and then you just shut her on, wait, fire it back up. All right, let's just get at her. We got a lot of work to do. I'm gonna start scrubbing, see what we come up with. We gotta let this thing dry, and then we got a whole bunch of taping to do. So it's kind of interesting. I let this dry a little bit. The door is coming really clean, actually. I missed a guy missed a spot, of course. But the fender, unfortunately, all that stuff has taken the paint with it all the way down to the primer. And I ain't mad about it, I'm gonna be honest. It's gonna be unique, give her some characteristic, you know, in the paint. Haven't really dug into the back quarter yet. But same thing on the sail panel. It's just taken some of the paint with it. Hood's looking pretty good. It's the same-ish, but not. I got some of that really deep brown out and got some color back over here. So I'm just gonna keep working my way around it with the pressure washer, and then once we start scrubbing, we'll really see what starts coming off. Battery was dead when I went to move her. That's weird. Nope. Completely expected. Let's add that to the list that we're not making to fix. Battery is fairly new. Maybe it's shorted out. Bad cable. I don't know. We just put a charger whirler in it. Sounds like LA traffic, but that's actually the fan relay going berserk because it doesn't have enough voltage to close. I got the battery charger up on that thing, see if we can get her off life support, you know what I mean? Anywho, so we got her scrubbed down. Forgot to rinse that part. It looks different but the same. A lot of the same. We cleaned some of the porous material off. It's still very rough though. If we wanted this to look like glass, we'd have to sand this. Well, if we sand it, then you lose all that character, right? This is smoother but rough, but smooth. It's definitely rough. The roof turned out kind of weird. It's got like a little spot where the clear coat probably hung in there a little bit longer. This side's definitely burned through. The hood, well, quite honking the horn. The hood here, get out of there, is extremely porous. Very, very rough. And that is why I've decided to spray this instead of wipe it on. Yeah, you can actually wipe this clear on if you want to. And this would be fine if you want to wipe this on. I'm just a little nervous about my sponge getting snagged up in this stuff. Put it on thick enough, I guess it'd probably glide right over it, but we'll go ahead and just spray it with a really cheap gun. I'll show you all that here in a minute. But first, the big task, I've got to tape all of the glass off, basically anything we don't want clear coat on. I need to tape off right now and get that done. and let this metal cool down. It's really hot from sitting out there in the sun. And then I'll show you all the equipment. Well, the guys got both sides taped off, front and rear winders, got the back tail lamps out, moldings on the bumper trimmed off. Pretty much everything on the side gets paint. Up here on the front, really been going back and forth. These are the trim rings here. And the other side was even worse. It was just like silver, no color. And one of the most iconic things about the Grand National is just they're blacked out. You know, and this is gonna shine up pretty good, this black piece here. Went back and forth, back and forth. Finally decided I think I'm gonna go ahead and paint just the headlight trim rings and plop them in. Got to do that separately. I'm just gonna use this farm implement paint, you know, because why not? All right, guys, got those painted up in the old clean, sterile paint booth here. No, it's got a ton of dirt and stuff in them, but it's gonna match now. Anyway, got to finish taping up the headlights and stuff like that, and we're getting really close to painting. Well, I think guys got the front taped off. Just need to get that license plate off there. Battery is finally charging and holding a charge. 17.6 victories. Guy got under the hood there and just started yanking on relays, and it quieted down when I pulled out the delay relay, I believe it's called. There's a high-speed relay, a low-speed relay for the fans. Then there's a delay relay, which controls when the fans kick on, essentially. I think everything loops to that first, could be wrong. But anyway, one of the signs of that going bad is when you turn the vehicle off and the fans continue to run. Obviously that's gonna drain your battery, and I think that's what I got going on here. So I've gotta find one of those relays and we'll get that replaced. But I'm charging it up because I wanna take this thing for a spin. We've still gotta fix the boost issue. Well, it's not really a boost issue, it's a over-fueling issue, I think, that's going on here. It's definitely make a boost. And I got some new wheels for this thing. It's gonna look good. All right, let's talk about prep here really quick, and then I'll show you some product. Well, we've got to go through and wipe this thing down. We just washed it, obviously, but look at this. Areas that I forgot to, get it really good. We've got a lot of residue on it. And not only that, but you could see my forearm where I was just leaning on it while taping it. Guy gets a little sweaty. So we want to get all the wax and grease and debris and all that stuff off of the vehicle. I've been using for a while like Prep Ball or just mineral spirits, Earth Ghost Juice, stuff like that. But if you're on a super tight budget, you can use something like Sprayway if a guy wanted to. If you read the ingredients, wherever that is on here somewhere, you'll find that it has a heavy alcohol content. It's why it's one of the better glass cleaners. So we're gonna spray this thing down, wipe it all down, get it as clean as possible so that when we spray, see, look at this stuff. So when we spray, we're not encapsulating spiders and I don't know, there could be a booger. I don't know. Most people assume if we're spraying clear coat, it's gonna be expensive, but it's affordable for most people. First of all, the gun. This thing's like $24. You don't need to have an expensive gun. Your budget on a gun is what you can afford, period, right? These work just fine. I'm gonna put this thing together. The only thing additional I'm going to be doing is running one of these ball filters. This catches condensation and moisture and stuff like that, so big water droplets don't plop out. Need a couple mixing cups. This is a tack cloth. We'll run this over the paint right before we start spraying. I've used a couple rolls of tape and some paper, and that's really about it. What I'm going to be spraying is the Vice Grip Garage Gloss Urethane Wipe On Clear Coat. And I know this is kind of confusing because they just said it's wipe on. Well, you can also spray it. Okay, you can wipe it on or you can spray it on. So again, we're going to be spraying it on. That's $125 at vicegripgarage.com. So we've got like $200 into this project here. And I think it's going to be good for now. We can seal this thing up, and like I said earlier, when we come back to it, it's ready. There is some rust in this thing. See right here, in fact, I should pop what I can out of this, and I'm gonna blow it with air. Because remember, actually, we're gonna wanna blow the whole car off. You wanna make sure you're not gonna catch any paper with your spray gun when it comes time to paint, right? So I like to go around it with the air nozzle and just test your taping and your paper, blow the door jambs out, stuff like that. It's more of a good practice when you're actually painting a good car, but it's something that you just wanna learn to do repeatedly. Repetitive. It's being repeated. Whatever. Over here we got a little bubble on the door and the rockers are starting to go. So if we decide to do this car bumper to bumper, it's actually going to be quite a bit of work. We've got a lot of dents down here. These shouldn't be too bad. You know, the filler panels. In fact, I got some somewhere. Not quite sure where. But anyway, let's wipe this thing down. Make sure a guy's using a lint-free rag now. Otherwise, you're putting stuff right back on it. You know what I mean? Worst part is done, taping. Although it's the funnest, de-taping. De-tapifiage is pretty fun. Okay. I'm gonna show you this. See? That's dirtier than a worksite porta potty. I ain't kidding you. We just washed it, so that's why this step is an important one. You know, I could be wrong. It's late enough in the year, you know, for that. But you could see even a difference in the paint, what's left of the paint, after I wipe this on yet. So now, I gotta be extra cautious because I don't want swirls and streaks, because whatever is here is gonna get covered up and, well, now it's in the clear coat. If I ever did paint this bad boy, I think I would probably have it media blasted. It's not a cheap process, but when you add up labor time and all the sandpaper and the wear and tear on your air equipment and everything else, could a guy be money ahead? Maybe. I don't know yet. I haven't run the pencil out. Usually a lot of grease on the door here from the old arm hanging out the winders. Went ahead and mixed up 4 cups in advance. I'll put some cardboard or something over these so flies don't boop, boop, try to go swimming, you know, dipping the toe to jacuzzi. They'll get stuck, undoubtedly. Got the gun air pressure set, got this all assembled here. Never sprayed this yet, but we'll just use the what is it called, paper on the car windows as like a, you know, get the spray pattern dialed in, how much material I want to use. A couple tips here. Use the wind. Make sure your cup is clean. Blow this out. Blow these cups. Wipe them out. Blow this off with air. These stir sticks. You don't want to be dropping wood in there. They also make filters. If you're actually putting in color or clear, you can filter your paint before it goes in your cup. A lot of this I'm not doing because, well, bland national life. But if you're doing, you know, a real paint job, again, it's good to get into practice these things. Last step, quick, gonna wipe this down with some tack cloth. I got a big fan running in the garage door to pull fumes out. Gonna throw on the old respirator and just start see what we get. I am really, really excited to see what kind of character this is gonna bring out. I mean, it's gonna change everything, fellers, and I ain't kidding you. A couple spots I'm excited about. The primer's coming through. That hood's gonna be unique. This right here, I think is gonna look awesome. All right, got the fan running, gun's full. Hit the paper here. I think I got it pretty close. Right out the gate. We can make adjustments as we go though. Gonna start roof to middle, grab it from the other side over, do the tops. Hood's gonna need a couple extra coats over everything else.
going to get a little bit of overlap. Like that. I'll bring my fan down a little. Wow. There's nothing better than a black car in clear coat. All right, first coat down. Let's pop this hood out quick. The tip's leaking here. Haha, cheap gun life. Yep. It's leaking bad. Just got some runs over here. Huh. Oh, hobo freight. Guy turned the material down a little bit and the air. Try to keep this from dripping. Hang in there, little spray gun. Oh.
First coat is down. Like we thought it would. That hood really soaked it in. It's so porous. That'll probably end up getting one more coat than anything, but everything else, oofta. Looking good. Trunk's soaking her in pretty good as well, but I mean, you can still see my sealing in it. The rust on the bumper looks so cool. Kind of a root beer color. Getting with that black. Gotta wait a few more minutes and then we'll hit her again. And probably the hood again more on there. By the way, my black tractor paint I mean, I think that's, you know, good enough for who it's for, is what I'm saying. Well guys, I've got 2 coats on the car and 3 on the hood. Gotta let her dry. She's in the bake booth here. Anyway, we'll come back and peel the tape off. We got to put wheels on, stuff like that. But while it dries, I'm gonna go push the mower around, see if I can knock down some weeds in front of the house there. And the fun part, peeling tape, stepping back, seeing what this thing looks like. Well, it is went ahead and be a few hours later. It should be dry enough we can get in there and start peeling all this tape off. It's kind of funny how taping is probably the worst job. Taking the tape off, well, it's It's my favorite. Bleep bloop down there in the comments. What's your favorite part of painting a rig? Bodywork? Can't be. Maybe it is. Actually spraying, taping, take a tape off. I don't know, mud, bodywork. Anyway, I'm gonna dig in, get started. Then we can jack this thing up. I'm gonna use the same tires because they're brand new. You know what I mean? We'll get them mounted on some different wheels. Man, that looks good. We got a update on Charlotte here. Chad's changing up the exhaust. We were loading it on the trailer tonight and we keep having an issue because the truck is so low. It's really low. You can see here we're dragging the pipes on the trailer repeatedly, just beating up the trailer and the exhaust and putting a lot of pressure and stress on the headers. So we need to change this up, and this might be getting hauled on a gooseneck trailer instead of my tilt flatbed. We've been using the flatbed for a lot of other stuff, and the gooseneck gets pulled by the dually. So here's what we're kind of thinking. I got the right man on the job. This guy's done more custom exhaust systems than, well, you'd be hard pressed to find anybody. But you can see what he's doing here. Before it went like this, straight back, both sides. Now we're going to try to whip it over and bring it up and try to double stack them because we don't want to get too close to the batteries here. We're going to double stack them, and then he's going to bring them up over the drive shaft, I believe. One will land here, one will land here. But there's some, you got to forward think here, because when these tires pop, we end up on the rim. So you can't have a tip like here, for example, pointing at the tire. I had this issue when someone else did the exhaust on my Chevelle. One time I thought the tire popped because I heard what I thought was the steel rim on the ground. Well, actually all it was the tip. The tire hadn't gone yet. So we got to make sure to get this up high enough to where when the tire pops, the exhaust doesn't drag. Main concern is heat on the electronics. We're also going to wrap them in some header stuff. But I'll get you guys back over here for another update as he works along there. But let's go check out the Grand National closer. Still got to put the headlight covers in, but my goodness, did that ever change the vehicle. Where it's black, it looks brand new, minus the scratches and dents. The roof is really unique. Really got a lot of sun on one side versus the other. But this is not, I mean, you could wet sand and buff this if you want, or cut it and polish it, but this is just straight out of the can, right on the car. Looking really good. Okay, now let's get her jacked up and start doing these wheels. Go ahead and do one at a time. I'll just start in the rear because I can get both off at the same time. Guy almost did forget about the headlight surrounds there. It's pretty wild how close of a match this tractor paint is. Pretty happy about it, actually. Let's see if it was the right decision to go ahead and paint it. These were like grayish white before I did. Well, this lens is not in good shape. And it had the wrong hardware, of course. Where's this screw in at? Here? Can't be. Well. Oh yeah, I'm none mad about that. That looks really good. More black on the front. These were menacing back in the day. You look up in the old rearview mirror, you see Darth Vader coming down on you. You knew you was in for a beat down on the streets. It's heat in the street. It's drag race. You would lose. I don't know how to talk about that. Another thing I'm going to be doing is swapping these lug nuts out and center caps. These lugs have like this weird, like cheap tin beauty snap over thing. And they always get stuck in the sockets, or they strip off anyway, or whatever else. I'm actually having to use a 20 millimeter, well, allegedly, we'll see how it works, to get these out. And then they're going directly into the trash can. Yep. Right, stuck. This is the fight. Oh, hit a little cap. Oh, I see I rebuilt everything in here. I forgot about that. By that I mean spray paint. If a guy ever wanted to see two fellers argue over wheels, it's most likely going to be about a Grand National or a T-type since the Reagan administration, basically, right when they were brand new. In fact, you hardly ever see a Grand National without the original wheels. Do some searching on the interwebs, well, you find out when people change the wheels, man, are they teased about it. And I thought about it, some turbines or some mags, I don't know. But I ended up going with, well, an original looking wheel. However, this here is a repop. It's a 15 by 8 and it's aluminum. It's significantly lighter and it's a tickle wider. So we can stretch this tire out a little bit more, bring the profile on the sides down a little bit more, save a ton of weight. They were much more affordable being a repop, not an original. And the kit came with a valve stem, I ain't kidding you. And real steel lug nuts, thank goodness, and a beautiful repop Grand National hubcap, center cap, poverty cap, center axle cover upper, tire veneer. What do you want? It's okay. So anyway, I got to pop this tire off, put that on here. That's the goal. And I got one tire with a big pimple on it. Which one was that? I thought it was this one. No, it was pretty huge. I think it's the other one actually. Hopefully that goes away. Doubtful very. Must be this one. You could tell it was a rear tire and just slid into curbs repeatedly. And I got this nasty pimple on this tire here. Hoping we can save this tire. These ain't cheap, and that is a new tire. You can still see all the nubs on it. I mean, it's probably got, I don't know, none least miles. Well guys, that one tire is in terrible shape. So I'm out here in the tire pile. These are all supposed to be scrap tires for any number of various reasons. But I'm hoping for a gem like this. Is this a 15? 14. Shoot, I'm not gonna have any more Goodyears. I don't think that could fit. That's a 14. This is the issue with this tire right here. It's not good. I do not remember that, and if I remember correctly, I'm the one that mounted this tire, all the tires on this car, and I don't remember that happening. Very dangerous. Shouldn't use this tire. I don't have another one of this size, make or model, so I'm probably going to have to just mount it up. These are machined lips. You have to, the way that the wheel is designed, you have to dismount the originals and mount these the nice side down, which is scary. So it kind of stinks. I got to mount something on this twice, but I got one more shot. There might be one on a car I can go borrow. Let me go look at that. All right. Let's see. Can't see nothing. Coming up short. That's on 14s. Duster's on 14. It's got a lot of Chupacabras out here, but not on a 15. So I'm gonna do the right thing and just try to mount her up anyway. Got it mounted, but this ain't gonna last, fellers. That's definitely gonna pop. So I'm gonna go ahead and cave in. I have another G-body you guys haven't seen yet. It's coming soon, real soon. It has a new 235 6015 Chupacabra on it. I like them. So I'm gonna rob one off of that, which means I can't daily drive it anymore. Put that on here and then I'll get one ordered and just replace it. This is just, you know, I want to run this down the highway now, so we got to get this fixed. Okay, this is a tire from my other Buick, same size. She's been spun a little bit though. That's all right. Get this snapped in here. There we go. Oh, that looks so much better. Yeah. Yeah. I'm missing the logo on the drinker side rear. They didn't even send me the sticker on the dang thing, but maybe I can call them and have them send me one. Is this dead? Weird. I tell you what, fellers and fellettes, it's looking good, real good. Them fresh wheels really brought her around. I like the little bit deeper of a ditch on them, I believe, with that wider wheel. So before we take this thing for a spin, got to address the break it up issue, and I think I already found it. It's definitely making boost. Thankfully, the vacuum system on this is extremely simple, and basically what it was doing is it would run fine, normal, but when you feed her the onions, give her the coal, and the Terpsky, you know, the sushi slicer over here started kicking in, then it would start breaking up. So I actually went back and looked at some footage myself, and out of the tail pip back there was blowing black smoke. It was actually really, really, really rich, just very heavy fuel. So then you start thinking, well, the computer knows to throw more fuel at it based on the throttle position sensor. So the more throttle you give it, you know, the more timing and the more fuel it's going to throw at it. But if it's not receiving all of that extra air from the turbo, then you're not going to be running STOICH, optimal air-fuel ratio. So it has to be something after the turbo or on the charge side of the system. Glanced at it, bingo, here's what I found. Now keep in mind, I'm not 100% positive this is it, but I was also hearing like a whistle or like a weird like air running over or through something noise. And sure enough, there's a hose clamp here right off this that is just, I just forgot to tighten it, I believe, when I put all this back together. So I think I was losing a lot of boost pressure instead of going through the intercooler and into the inlet. So I'm just going to double check all of these clamps. We're going to start with that, something simple, and with any luck, that's going to fix our issue right there. Okay, I think a guy's got it here. This was kept slipping off. In fact, I think it's working on its way right now. I might need a longer piece here. The way that the intercooler is ribbed, it's sliding this off. I had to loosen these, push that in to get a bite on it, but I'm still not liking that. I might order a longer piece, unless I got a rad hose laying around or something. I'll see if I do. Gonna put the battery charger on that, let it boil through the night. You want to smell these when you come in the shop in the morning. That's how you know they're, pretty good to go. At this juncture, it's either extremely late or the next day. Good morning, if that's the case. But what I'm saying is I'm gonna cease operation on my eyelids for a few minutes, and then first thing sun up, we'll jump in this thing again. We're gonna go hit the roads with its new look, and hopefully we can feed her all the onions and this thing's gonna be running a little better. See you in the morning.
Just cruising on some back roads here, headed to get some gas. I can't remember if the fuel gauge works, but it snapped off past E, so. Also, my headliner got a hole in it. I started doing a tornadoer, and well, there that is, so. So far running much better, but I haven't got on it yet because I don't know how much fuel I got. So hopefully we can get to the station here. Gas gauge is not working, just filled up, but I think that's the cluster. It's all messed up. All right, we'll pull onto the highway here and give her some onions. Yes! It did backfire once and then it pulled. I wish this cluster worked. Yes! It definitely is making some boostesses.
Hey, it's me again. That guy that likes junk. Here to remind you once again, you don't have to have the shiniest or the fastest or the best car out there to enjoy it. Do something within your budget. Most importantly, just do something that you want to do. Who cares what other people think? Just get out there and work on them. Enjoy your classic end of day, and hopefully involve your family and friends along the way. This classic obviously has a long ways to go, so don't worry, you'll be seeing it again. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep it greasy side down.